Hello, friends. It is Wednesday, April 1st. This crazy world of ours is not an April Fool's joke. Good Lord. Well, I am delighted that you guys are here for me and with me. This is the second installment in my COVID care series. Today, it's all about you and your body. You don't even need a partner today, okay? Just forget about them, I know that you're sick of hanging out with them anyway, right? So forget about them. And if you are isolating by yourself, God bless you, more power to you. I know that it must be terribly lonely. I also want to tell you that being in a house with 3 children, I am so jealous of you right now. So jealous. But I digress. Let's do this. Now, as I mentioned, there are only 3 things that you need today. You need 1 sock. You need 2 balls. Let me demonstrate my very professional setup right here. 1 sock, 2 balls. I have this other one. I'm just going to throw it out. I don't even need that sock. All right. I prefer tennis balls because they've got a little bit of give to them, but not too much give. If you are a masochist, you might like a lacrosse ball or balls better, or maybe even a golf ball if you're really like to hurt yourself. But I believe no pain, okay? No pain. And that's why this is going to feel so good. We are going to use these incredibly simple self-care tools to figure out how to get at those spots that you want to have massaged, that you want to have released, that you want to have just got down in there. All right? We are going to do that right now. So while I'm talking, give yourself a minute and get your tools, and I'm going to show you how we are going to assemble them. All right. Remember, this is a real professional setup. Oh, hi. People are waving at me. That's nice. Hi, waving people. And hi, Mom. Ha! My mom is on Instagram Live, you guys. This is crazy. Oh, and my mother-in-law. This is totally crazy. All right, so check it out. Ideally, you want to have a sock that's long, not like one of those little athletic socks that are cool these days. You want to have a long sock. A pair of stockings works okay too, but they are often a little bit too stretchy, okay? So, regular old sock, yes? You put a tennis ball in. You push it all the way down to the bottom. Then, the key here, the most important step, once you get it down to the bottom, you can think about all your condom jokes now. Once you get it down to the bottom, you are going to make a knot right next to the ball, okay? So you're going to pull it through. Right? That makes sense? Yes? And then you are going to add ball number 2. In an ideal world, you want both of your balls to be the same size and to be the same thing so that they squish the same when you lie on them, okay? This is obviously not an ideal world, so you work with what you've got, okay? But I'm going to show you why this configuration is so valuable, okay? So you've got that second ball stuffed all the way in, and then you're going to make a second knot, okay? There. So now you basically just have 2 links in a sausage, okay? And what's crucial here is that the balls are staying in place, but they've got a little bit of give, and most importantly, you've got this knot in the middle that's going to create a crucial space, and we'll see why in a moment. So, if you haven't already, get your tool ready, okay? And then I'm going to show you in a minute how to work it. But first, I want to say, it is easy in this crazy time of ours to think that self-care is self-indulgent and, a waste of time. I work with my hands for a living. It kills me that I'm not able to actually help anybody right now. And, I feel like I should be going and volunteering somewhere. But let's be honest, the hospitals, don't want my help right now. More power to them. Thank you, all healthcare workers right now. But for the rest of us, we need to continue to take care of our bodies, because it's only if we're fully functioning in our bodies, if we can feel some sense of ease in our own bodies, that we can then make a difference to our family, to our neighbors, to our wider community, when we are able to get in greater touch with them. So I believe that self-care is more important now more than ever. All right? Let's make you feel good. These beautiful balls are, in my opinion, more effective than the foam rollers, right, that are like super trendy these days. Those are fine, and if you have one and you want to use it, that's great. But I think you'll see that this is even more satisfying. Okay, so we're going to work two places today. We're going to work all the way along the spine, and then we're going to work on the lateral aspect of the body, the sides of the body. So we're going to work the spine first, and then we're going to work the hips, a little bit of the side of the leg, and then for extra deliciousness, we're going to work up into the armpit and shoulder blade area. Let's go. So all you need is a floor, okay? Place your balls anywhere in the center of a floor where you have enough room to lie down on, okay? I apologize for the crazy halo behind my back. The sun just came out. What are you gonna do? So, I am going to begin with these balls aiming for the middle of my back. So one ball is going to be on each side of my spine, right? And this knot, the reason why this knot is so important in the middle is because it's right where my spine is. So it's going to mean that I'm not putting any pressure on my spine. I'm directing all of the pressure into the paraspinal muscles, the erector spinae muscles that run on either side of my spine. So think about your shoulder blades. Find the bottom of that triangle of your shoulder blades, right? So I'm pointing to mine. They're sticking out a little bit right here. And we're going to aim for anywhere just below those. This is not rocket science. There's nothing particular here, but it's just an easy starting point for you guys, okay? So I'm going to gradually roll down onto these balls, and then I can position them if they are on my spine, for example, where I don't want them, right? I'm positioning them, again, just on either side of my spine, right? So we got the bones in the middle, we got the two balls on either side, okay? And then, this is often the hardest part, y'all. The key here is to do nothing. Let your head drop down to the floor, and you can have your knees up in the air, feet flat on the ground if that's comfortable, or you can have your legs all the way flat on the ground, whatever works for you. And then the key here is to follow your exhalation. So with each breath out, you are thinking of letting your back muscles melt into the two tennis balls. We often especially when we're using a foam roller or some other kind of device, we often think that we're relaxed because we're doing the right thing. But it's only when we really let ourselves follow that exhalation all the way down that we feel these additional layers of tension. And then we feel those deeper and deeper layers of the musculature melting and sinking into the balls. Now, just as I started doing without even realizing it, another really nice thing to do is to place your hands out to the sides, palms up, as that'll shift the position of the balls ever so slightly. And then in addition, this might be hard to see, but if you want to, you can rock ever so slightly back and forth, and that'll just reveal those little spots of extra tension as you rock slightly with your whole body, okay? Notice here that everything I'm doing is very slow, and that is intentional. Now, when you are ready, you can slide just an inch or two towards your feet. So now the balls should be a little bit higher, still in the same position, but just a few vertebrae higher along your spine. Now they are in between your shoulder blades. And here you'll feel a different sensation, but no doubt you will have also more spots here that are eager for your sinking, melting exhalation. It's easy in our fast-paced world to think of moving fast on the balls, to rolling on the balls. And this is actually why I don't like the foam roller, because people think it has to be fast, it has to be painful in order to be relaxing. I argue that the opposite is true, that actually what we want is we want to soften and sink. We want to make our bodies as still as possible. That's when we are truly able to follow that exhalation, to allow our musculature to sink down into the pressure that's created, whether it's a roller or whether it's these balls, right? So moving as little as possible is the key to really, truly finding that relaxed space, okay? So you can move up or down an inch or two, but then once you find that next position, give yourself a chance to just follow that exhale down to empty. Allow the body to inhale just as it's ready, and then slowly, easy down. Think of lengthening that exhalation a little bit longer each time. I have found that it is, when I'm working on my clients, it's essentially the last second or two of their exhalation when almost all of that relaxation or that release or whatever happens when we're doing a massage, all that good stuff, it really happens when the client is able to find that new bottom of their exhalation. That's really where the magic happens. So you can give that gift to yourself. Notice as you're doing this, your brain will start thinking about the next thing to do, right? You'll start thinking about your to-do list and the people in the other room, and that you haven't figured out what you're going to make for dinner yet, and that you're running out of milk, right? Nothing wrong with that. That's just our beautiful brains at work. But give yourself this chance to recognize those thoughts, right? To recognize the monkey mind at work, and then just to follow that exhalation, the next breath out, a little bit further down. That's where you're going to find that ease. So these balls are beautiful all the way up and down the spine. You can even come all the way to the, let's see if you can see this at all, to the base of the skull. And here you won't feel that same sense of muscular release because the muscles here, the suboccipitals, like we talked about on Sunday, are so tiny. But still, it's a nice way to let your head sink. Whenever you're finished in a position, move out of that position just as slowly as you moved into it. For the sake of time, I'm not going to take my time going inch by inch all the way from the top of the spine to the base of the spine, but know that you can do that. Your spine and your paraspinal muscles will not complain if you just linger slowly, easy from your cervical vertebrae to your sacrum, okay? And because, sorry about that, my cameraman is not working. There we go. And speaking of the bottom of the spine, this is where there's even more deliciousness to be had. What I want you to feel is, again, for the sake of time, we won't sink all the way down, but I want you just to think of rolling the balls, right, all the way down either side of your spine, okay, until you get to the sacrum. The sacrum is that triangular bone at the very bottom of the spine, and even though it is bony, it loves to be laid upon. So you can put these balls, again, keeping them in the center, in the midline of the body, and then keeping the balls right on the spine. Now, you can roll around a little bit to find that spot where the body goes, yes, this is it. You can spread your legs flat onto the ground, or you can bring your feet on the ground with your knees up towards the ceiling. And this is a place of unending delight. So again, anywhere in the lower back or the sacrum, your body will thank you. But here's where it gets even better. I think that the sides of our bodies are actually one of the places that we ignore the most, but are really crucial in a lot of the ongoing pain and achiness that we experience, whether it's that that you always feel, or that that you always feel, or that ache in your lower back that you always feel. Oftentimes, creating more pliability along the sides of the body is the key to getting some long-term relief to those classic trouble spots that so many of us have. In fact, massage therapists out there, you'll this will be familiar to you if you've worked with me, because I have a whole weekend-long class called The Solution is the Sides, and it's all about techniques for the sides of the body, right? From the ankle all the way up to the armpit and the side of the neck. So here, we're just going to do a tiny bit of self-care on the sides of the body. So here, I want you to get yourself into a side plank position, right? That makes sense to everybody? You don't actually have to go up here. I just want it to be clear that you are on your side, okay? And then with the balls, we're going to place them just below our hip bone, okay? So this is called the ilium. You can feel it on yourself. If you, it's the place where if you put your hands on your waist, right, like this, it's the bone that you can feel from the hip point at the front of your body, wrapping all the way around to the sacrum in the back of the body, okay? So you can trace with your own hands here the ilium all the way from the front of the body to the back of the body. Okay, so place your hands in that position from your thumbs to your forefinger, right, your pointer finger, and place your hands on that bone, on the edge of that bone, and then where we're going to be placing the balls is going to be below, okay? So the hip bone is here, the ilium is here, right? And then we're going to be just south of it. There is a astonishing number of muscles in this area that I won't go into, but they are some of my favorite muscles in the whole body. And so basically all you're doing is, you can think of that, the ilium, that hip bone, find it with the balls, bump your balls against the ilium, right? And then just roll the balls just below there, okay? So once again, you are lying on your side. I'm gonna adjust so I can still see you guys, okay? And then all you're going to be doing is letting the side of your body sink down into those balls. So what you'll feel is one of the balls will be creating pressure basically right where your pant pocket is, right? So right around here, okay? That's TFL and gluteus minimus for you anatomy nerds out there, right? And then the back of the ball will be creating, the other ball will be creating pressure in the back side of the body. Not all the way back, what we think of as our butt, but just on the side, right, of the back of the hip, right? And so this is where we have a little bit of gluteus medius and then a little bit of gluteus maximus. These two areas, I think, are one of the most underappreciated parts of the body. So using the balls on them is a wonderful way to take care of them. The principle is still the same, right? You're just giving whatever weight is comfortable for you. You're not trying to push yourself down into it. You're just letting your whole body drape over the balls, okay? If you're not feeling it, just try moving an inch or so higher up towards your head, okay? Or moving an inch or two lower down, okay? If you're still not feeling it, then think of just rolling a little bit forward so that the front of your body is coming towards the floor, or rolling a little bit backwards, okay? In one of those positions, you should start to feel that, feeling. That's what we want, right? We want that kind of surprised, I didn't realize I was tense there feeling, okay? In my experience, so many of the issues that we have, particularly in our lower back and our sacrums, and oftentimes even that stuff that we describe as sciatic pain in the back of the glutes, the butt muscles, and down the leg, are helped by just lying on the ball, okay? Even better is if you just let your whole body stretch out so your whole weight is against the floor. Just as I mentioned with the back, you can tip ever so slightly forward and back. You can rock ever so slightly so that you find those really juicy points, and then just hang out there. Follow that exhale down to empty. Let yourself really give the weight of your body into the balls or the ball. So notice here I'm rolling even further back because I found a really nice spot, I think right where my gluteus medius and my gluteus maximus overlap. And so I'm just letting myself find that very bottom of the breath and allowing these muscles to release as they are ready. The beauty of this is, just like the back, we can continue to go all the way down the side of the leg, okay? Now, it's very cool nowadays to talk about how tight our IT bands are, right? It's this long tendon that runs from below the knee to the hip, the iliotibial band. We like to complain about it a lot and talk about how it's impossible to stretch and blah, blah, blah. And that's part of where the foam roller craze is coming from. So, in my experience, we can roll on the IT band all we want. It's not going to get much looser because actually it is a primary stabilizer between our knee and our hip. We actually don't want it to get much looser or else we'd be all wobbly. Okay, so we want that tightness there, or I should say that that necessary tone, right? Keeping the position of the knee and the hip in place. But what we don't want is we don't want the accompanying tension that comes on the quadricep muscles, on the front side of the leg where they meet with the IT band, and the hamstring muscles on the back of the leg where they meet with the IT band. There are all of these moments where the muscles interdigitate, right, where they literally band together with that tendon, with the iliotibial band, and that's where a lot of that stiffness and achiness comes from. So using the balls a little further down is, in my experience, actually more helpful than using the foam roller, because with the knot here, the knot is going on our IT band, but then the balls are creating all the pressure where the IT band meets the quadricep muscles in the front and the hamstring muscles in the back. And that's actually where we need that release. So again, you can hang out all the way down by the knee. Nice and slowly you can come up, finding all those tight spots, sinking in, and then again coming all the way up to that hip spot where we began. Again, slowness is key. Obviously, I'm moving much faster here than I normally would, okay? Now, a quick note, if you are feeling like you are losing that feeling, that delicious sinking, it's probably because your sock is just a little bit stretchy, okay? This is why pantyhose actually are not ideal. They're so stretchy that the balls just separate from one another. So when you sink down, the balls just go whoop, and there's nothing to hold your body weight, right? So if you are feeling that, as you've been using them in these last few minutes, it just means you need to retie your knots a little bit tighter, that's all. And then you'll feel right away that they become more, the balls become more engaging on your muscles because they're not squishing so much, okay? So we've talked about using the balls all the way down, all the way down the spine, onto the sacrum, and then around to the side of the hips, and then down the side of the leg. Last but not least is the armpits. Now, this can feel weird. We're not used to people touching the sides of our ribs and up into our armpits, okay? But that is actually why it's so valuable, because this is like unexplored territory, okay? So I want you to think of finding the bottom of your rib cage, right, along the side of the body, okay? And then once again, thinking of the very midline of your body, right, the most lateral, the side part of your body being in the knot, in between the two balls, and then just feeling your ribs sinking into the balls on either side. If this feels too intense, no worries. Just bring your elbow a little bit closer to your body so you're not putting so much of your body weight onto it. Start following that exhalation. And then you'll be able, little by little, to move that elbow away and sink more and more of your body weight into the balls. Again, no pushing, no forcing, just giving as much of your body weight as your body is ready into these balls. Once you follow that exhale for a few breaths out, felt a little bit of that release in your rib cage, you can slide down towards your feet so that the balls are coming a little bit higher, closer to your armpit, okay? Where you go here is really up to you, especially if you have had rotator cuff issues, right? The back ball now will probably be very intense, right? If you have, sat at a desk for 10 hours a day every day for the last 10 years, as you come higher up, the front ball will likely be very intense because the front ball is now engaging with your pectoral muscles. And if you've been for so long, then your pecs almost inevitably are tight, okay? If it feels like your breast tissue is getting in the way, think of just holding the side of the breast tissue, lifting it out of the way, because actually a lot of the most powerful and tightest pectoral musculature is actually underneath the breast tissue. So you can help yourself by lifting the breast tissue out of the way and then rolling ever so slightly forward, and then you'll feel that contact with both pectoralis major and pectoralis minor, two other very delicious muscles. So now all I'm doing here, once again, is just letting myself sink. You can come up as high as is comfortable for you, okay? There's no wrong way to do this. It's just following your own instinct and wherever feels good in this lateral aspect of the ribs. Once again, letting yourself sink slowly down to empty, really using that exhalation, letting the breath begin on its own whenever the body needs that next inhalation, and then giving yourself this chance. Nothing to do here, nothing to accomplish, just sinking down to neutral, back to empty. And then whenever you're ready, slowly coming up. So, as you can see, I really like these. I hope you do too, a little more now. And again, even if it's just a minute a day or a minute a week, I think that we will all be better. We will all heal better if we are feeling a little more at ease in our own bodies. So, this is my hope for all of you. And as always, let me know if you have any questions, and let me know what you want to learn about next. I'll be doing the third part of this COVID care series this coming Sunday at 4 p.m. like usual, and I'm still trying to figure out what part of the body we're going to work on. Maybe the feet, maybe the hands. So much good stuff. So much good stuff. And so I wish you, wherever you are, whoever you're with, so much good stuff amidst all this. Thank you again, and I'll see you soon.